Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we want to share an incredible day that we had on Holland America Line's Nieuw Statendam. But before we get into it, we just want to firstly thank Holland America Line for hosting us, and also because we're Choose Cruise CLIA members, they also were a part of this as well.
Yeah, so as Justin said, we were only on board for just one day. So we're calling this a nautical nibble of a review. And this is hopefully enough just to whet your appetite and get you in the mood to book a cruise and take the plunge. Or, alternatively, you may think it's not plain sailing and you may want to change direction.
Yeah, okay, enough of the puns. Let's get into it.
Now, a little bit more about Holland America Line. With a rich history dating back to 1873, this iconic cruise line began in, you guessed it, the Netherlands, primarily transporting passengers and cargo to and from the Americas.
So over the decades, Holland America Line has evolved into a premium cruise operator known for its attention to detail, immersive itineraries and mid-sized ships that offer a more intimate cruising experience. And speaking of ships, let's talk about the Nieuw Statendam.
Launched in 2018, this ship is the second of three now Holland America Pinnacle class vessels, blending classic style with modern innovations. One fascinating aspect of the Nieuw Statendam is the incredible art collection on board, valued at over $4 million US. Each piece apparently chosen to reflect the fluid lines and dynamic spaces found throughout the ship.
Also for the music lovers out there, the Nieuw Statendam boasts a unique venue called the Rolling Stone Rock Room, where you can catch a live performance curated in partnership with Rolling Stone magazine.
Now, we're just getting started, so there's so much more to explore. So let's roll VT!
asshole.
And to be fair, that looks pretty much like what we made downstairs, doesn't it?
Really? What is it? Is it the butter or the?
It's just the butter. Butter, everything is better with butter. Wow, we packed a lot into one day.
Yeah.
Less than 1 day. About 4 or 5 hours on board.
Can't believe we did it all. It was just like, it was amazing.
Well, still a blur. Well, we just want to thank Holland America Line and Choose Cruise CLIA for inviting us on board. And we hope you'll have us back again someday again to try even more ships.
Yeah, before we get into a little bit more of the review, I just want to take the opportunity, want to take the opportunity, if you're liking our content, to go in and subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it just helps us to build the channel and bring even more to you.
Make sure you hit that like button and the bell to get our notifications of when our videos are released. Otherwise, you may be missing out.
You don't want to miss out. Trust me, you don't. The ship. No, that's a truck, isn't it?
It's just stuck now. It's just going to be there forever.
It's the ship anyway. So the ship, not what I expected. Really interesting.
Initially, when I got on board, I was like, "What have I just walked into? This feels really retro, but in a kind of cool way."
Yeah, like it was like, hang on, I feel like this is something that where I've been before, but it's just it was weird.
Yeah, it was very kind of like retro 1970s-esque, go to the disco, go to the blues bar, kind of dark wood everywhere, which is quite old-fashioned for such a modern ship built in 2018. I was like, this is really weird, but cool at the same time. And then you kind of go to other places and it has this really light Dutch kind of history, kind of stereotypical
and
feel.
Like, with flashes of modern everywhere. It's interesting. It's like, as you said, like traditional and retro all mixed in together, but it works.
With, don't forget, of course, some flashes of bright orange.
Bright orange, but that was the 70s. That was
orange.
the 70s colours, wasn't it? It was like brown, oranges, those types of things.
Well, it does, but also the bright orange really fits with the kind of Dutch feel. It's very much the Dutch colour, so it works wonderfully as that. But it also does work in harmony with the 70s kind of rock and roll feel they've gone for on board.
Yeah,
I'm not sure we keep doing this.
Yeah, we're going rock.
We're going dancing. We want to go dancing.
It's like the 70s.
One of my standout spaces on board actually was the indoor pool area. The outdoor pool on the back was beautiful with its tiered kind of aft fields.
No, I agree.
But the indoor pool was so spectacular. I could see myself spending hours there.
There was so many different spaces, wasn't there? You had like a Dutch cafe, which was very, very typical Dutch. You also had like a Japanese garden and Japanese restaurant, which was also quite unique. And as you said, that indoor pool area, that was an area where I really, really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, and they had the crow's nest. I don't know if you managed to get up there, but stunning views and a lot to do, lots of board games and things to play just on a nice sea day, which I know it sounds a bit cliche and boring, but actually sometimes it's nice just to chill out and just relax and play a board game for half a day. One thing I thought though this ship was maybe slightly missing was a really impressive atrium. It did have an atrium, and in some ways it was impressive, but it wasn't the hub of a ship. And personally for me, I do like the atrium to feel like the hub. This was an impressive art sculpture. It's probably the best description for it. But it wasn't a hub particularly. It was more an area you passed through to go to other places that you would then congregate in, which was a bit of a shame, I think. Although I suppose the BB King's Blues Bar, which we'll come on to in a minute, that did actually have some nice spaces to it, but it's not the atrium, so that was one thing missing for me, I think.
I think one really nice thing was I thought the artwork was just absolutely amazing. Like the where the 70s vibe was, especially with the thing what I call like the Sputnik thing or whatever it was.
Well, they had Princess Leia with the headphones on as well,
and they had some
like
weird
melting guitars
stuff, and it was great though. I loved it.
Yeah, they had the Magritte kind of apple man with an apple and the tie thing. Which you had to go and look at the right angle to get and stuff. But there was some funky artwork in all the lift lobbies, and then some kind of like classical pieces redone with the kind of Michelangelo's David kind of one in like glitter and stuff. But
it was
a funky ship, definitely funky ship.
Loved it. Oh, sorry, the cabin.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go and see these, so over to you.
Yes, so I did actually get to see 2 cabins. So the first cabin I went into was an inside cabin, and it was actually quite nice. You know, you had your beds where you could have a double bed configuration, or you could separate them into 2 beds. The only thing I will say about the cabin, and we'll do a cabin tour, was that if you're in a twin configuration, one of the beds right up to next to the desk, so you can actually open the desk drawers. There was a few things in the cabin itself that just work or didn't work. The bathroom was a little bit on the small side, but it's functional. And the shower was actually one of the bigger showers that I've seen at sea.
I suppose that's an important thing. Although looking at the shots you did take, the bathroom did look small. You don't need a huge bathroom in particular. Well,
yeah,
maybe you do, I don't know. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Do you need a big bathroom?
Do
I think
you?
as long as you can functionally use it, I think it's going to work. But it did look on the small side.
It did look nice though. It was very, very nice. It was good quality bathroom.
Yeah, the outside balcony cabin you went to looked really nice and light though.
It was. It had for the rest of the ship, you were saying before that there was a lot of dark wood, but not in the
Very
cabin.
insular feel.
Yeah, but in the cabins, it was like a light feel. It had a very princess-esque sort of feel within the cabin.
What, shower curtains?
No. But what I mean is when you go
shower curtains.
when you go into Sky Princess, you can actually kind of see some of the same sort of layout. So there's a smallish sofa, a smaller sort of desk. I couldn't get out on the balcony. It was locked. It was an obscured balcony, and I would say it was a bit too obscured for us. So I don't think we would have enjoyed that cabin as much. Once again, bathroom was a bit on the small side. Very nice though. Furnishings were nice, and there was plenty of storage. So yeah, I think the cabin was nice. I'd be happy to be in there.
Did you get to try out the bed?
I didn't. I felt
jump
that
on the
I
bed?
couldn't really do that because it was a show cabin.
Well, if the bed's nice and comfy, let us know below. What's your thoughts? Are these princesses perfect night sleep ones, or are they
Holland America
are
Line.
they a nightmare? You let us know below.
The food.
Is that the Frenchman kiss? Was it the French kiss?
Yes, it should be a Dutch one, but I don't know how to do a Dutch kiss. But anyway.
That's something else, John.
Anyway,
Oh,
moving on.
There is a big focus on freshness on
Yes.
board, and they tend to pick up a lot of food along the way as they go in the different ports to give you a taste of the actual
The
location
different
that you're
foods
going
and
to.
the location, yeah.
They also are ASC and MSC certified for all their fish, so it's always sustainably sourced and some of the freshest fish you can get. And one interesting fact we learned today on that day was that the fresh fish can be fresh as long as it was frozen at source, which means you can have fresh frozen fish.
Frozen fish, which
is still the same as frozen as fresh fish,
Don't
but
know.
different to frozen fish.
Yeah, it's not the same. It has to be done in straight
We're going
away.
down a rabbit
I don't
hole
know. But tell us a little bit about what happened on the day, because we actually had a cooking demonstration. So
We did actually, and it was really cool actually. We went into the Orange Club, which is actually a restaurant solely normally for Neptune and Pinnacle Suite guests. Beautiful restaurant actually.
yeah,
And he was just the fleet chef was actually on board for the day for us, and did a demonstration of what we were then going to eat at lunch in
So it
the
was
Pinnacle Grill.
Dover sole.
So we had we started off with because I've just been to France.
That's
so
right, yep.
We actually had white asparagus, which you can get in the UK, but the French seem to do it on like steroids. It's huge.
Yeah.
By comparison, and that was with some ham and kind of like it wasn't a hollandaise sauce. It
Yeah,
was like a kind of bechamel sauce kind of thing. And it was very, very yummy when I had it at lunchtime. It was really enjoyable. And then he also did a Dover sole, and I kid you not, I wasn't hungry before the demo, but when the smell of butter wafts across the place, oh wow, it smells so good.
So as Tristan said, we did the demonstration. A bit later we went to lunch, and they served, this is one of the courses that was on the menu. Now I don't eat fish, not a big fish lover, so I had what did I have?
You had what I would call Tornado's Rossini, which is a very 1970s style dish, which is effectively a filet mignon with a kind of bit toast underneath, for want of a better word, which normally goes a bit soggy, and pate on top.
Yeah.
Or foie gras if you're being controversial.
Exactly, yeah. For entree though, I did have like a heritage carriage soup, and it had asparagus. Everything had asparagus.
Everything had asparagus. Needless to
asparagus.
say, you have not wanted to be in our bathroom for the past few days. We're going to leave it there, but
all I can say is that after France and eating that much asparagus, I don't know, and cheese, I don't know what it would have smelt like on board. But anyway,
could have been interesting.
And then for dessert, it was a cheesecake, wasn't it?
A stroopwafel cheesecake, which was very nice. I'm a little bit biased because I do prefer an American cheesecake, and I make at home a very good American cheesecake. And that's not just me blowing my own trumpet; it's actually won awards. So. Sorry, but I'm a little bit biased there.
Which award? The Church Award?
It's won a few awards.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. Stop making it for you. I won't bake one for you again. But yeah, so on board, there are, for free dining, you have the MDR.
Yep.
You have Pinnacle Grill, which is the steakhouse. Mm-hmm. You have Canaletto, which is an Italian-style restaurant. Ooh. You have Tamarind, which is a Southeast Asian-style restaurant.
Nice.
And you have Rudy Seldemer, which is a French/seafood restaurant. And then you have Nami Sushi, which is the Japanese-style
restaurant upstairs. Yeah.
There's also the Lido Market Buffet, Dive In, which is the poolside grill. You also have the New York Pizza, which is the...
I didn't say that.
By the pools. Right by Dive In, you can basically then run 1 and 2 the same.
Oh, okay.
There's also gelato up by the pool as well, so you can get gelato.
Yep.
Wasn't sure if that was included though, or free, so let us know in the comments below if you've been on board. Is the gelato included? Because Josh is very interested to know. You also have the Grand Dutch Cafe, which is for schmuck and a pancake. No. It's for snacks and Dutch-style inspired gifts and
there was
alcohol.
Cakes, yeah? There was cakes.
Yeah, cakes, bakery things. And you can also get like Dutch beer and stuff from there as well. So, which I'm assuming is Heineken because that's the only Dutch beer I know. Sorry, I need to go back on board and learn. But yeah, and then as we said earlier, you have Club Orange, which is for the Neptune and Pinnacle Suite guests. So they have their own special space to sit. So,
Yum.
Yeah.
The drinks. Oh.
Now, they do have a drinks package to purchase on board. They have a non-alcoholic and an alcoholic. It's pretty inclusive from what we could tell, but not everything is included, as Justin will come on to in a short moment.
But they did tell us that what wasn't included and wasn't in your package, you only had to pay an upcharge. It wasn't...
It's not you pay all from scratch, you just pay the uplift, basically.
Uplift, yeah.
Plus, I'm sure, a gratuity on top of that, so, you know, they tend to work out as much as a drink again, but yes, we tried that one, but that's good, though.
Yeah.
The drinks were pretty inclusive, though. Overall, it was a pretty good option, and from what we could tell, from what I could tell from the menus, certainly a good selection of some wine, beers, basic cocktails.
We did try and sample a few of the drinks, so we did have wine at lunch, and I think the wine that they gave us was quite good, wasn't it?
Actually, I had a really nice Pinot Gris white wine. Actually, it was lovely.
Pinot Gris, yeah. And I had a nice red wine. It was good. It was drinkable. But we also got to go to the bar and try out a drink. I tried. So what did you try? I can't remember what you tried.
I had a because I was driving, sadly, because they wouldn't let us stay on board unless we paid, and a bit too late by that point. Yeah. So I had a non-alcoholic, and I just asked the barman to do a non-alcoholic cocktail for me, just something a bit different, rather than just ordering a Coke. And he did this sort of like mango... tropical kind of lemonade, he called it, and it was really, really nice. A little bit tart, maybe for some people, but I did enjoy it, and it certainly was a different drink that I wouldn't have normally ordered. So for him to put that forward, actually, it was a good choice. It didn't just go for like, oh, here's a non-alcoholic
standard stuff.
It was. He did try and do something a bit more imaginative for me, so that was nice that he thought about it. And she was a good barman, I think.
Yeah. So, and I had
you had very much an alcoholic.
Yeah. I mean, I had to test it. Yeah. I had to be the guinea pig, but you know, some of us have such a hard life.
So Justin had a cherry smoked old fashioned,
and it came with a
real show.
Real show. Yeah. I like my smoked drinks, and this didn't disappoint at all.
Yeah, and actually we were there on that day with a few other vloggers, obviously, and Lizzie and Lindsay from Sweet Natured decided to have a pirate punch, which came in its own conch shell, and from all intents and purposes, and the shots as I took as they were drinking it was very alcoholic.
Yeah, we did try. I think I tried a little bit of it, and rum. Yeah, it had like 3 or 4 different types of rum in it, didn't it? It was just like it was rum, 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 rum,
rum, rum, rum, rum, rum,
rum, rum, rum, rum. There's no business like show business. The entertainment.
Please send help.
We didn't get to see much entertainment. Or
No, well,
any,
sadly,
really.
we didn't really get to see any of the shows because we weren't on long enough. However, I did see a couple of rehearsals, and from what I could tell on board, there's a very heavy kind of music focus, obviously, on board. So you have B.B. King's Blues Bar, which has blues playing most of the nights.
Rolling Stones.
You have the Rolling Stones Club as well, which obviously has a rock kind of feel to it, and rock bands playing. The theatre also has very much a kind of music style theme playing to it. And actually, Step One Dance Company are one of the main shows on board. Okay. And I'll be overlaying on this a few clips of it. And it looks stunning. It looks like a really impressive light and dance show.
So I wanted to actually ask you, because we were on different parts of the ship at different times filming, what did you think of the theatre? Because when I walked into the theatre, I was quite underwhelmed by the actual theatre space itself.
It's an odd space. I'm not a huge fan of the fake amphitheatres. Although I would say it's far better than, say, Costa or any of those ones that use those spaces and do that kind of weird design. Yeah, I think it's a decent sized space. I like the idea that the stage comes out into the audience a bit more and you go around it. I think that creates, especially for the style of shows they're going to be doing there, that creates quite a nice environment that you can feel quite connected to the performers. And I think what probably you didn't see that is probably making it feel less impressive was that the stage was down when we were there, and actually goes up and down on motors. Sorry, it's part of what I did. So I could tell that it does, and there's a big LED wall behind it. So I think it's quite an impressive space when you're there and it's in use. I think when it's all lit up and everything else, no. And one thing I did notice actually that was thought of quite well on this space was there's a lot of disabled access.
I noticed.
People with mobility issues access. So there were seats that were wider. There were areas that were for wheelchairs and stuff, wheelchair accessible and things. But also not just right at the back where you can kind of like sneak in and you feel like you're right away from everything. They were further down as well, so there are routes in to get there, which I thought was nice actually. Not every cruise line thinks of that. No. And to include that now, I thought that's quite nice actually.
It is quite good. The spa and fitness.
Now, it wasn't actually that tranquil when I walked around. It was probably not helped by all the people traipsing around on the press tour, but it was right off the pool, so it's actually quite noisy in some ways. It looked very nice though. Pretty standard spa space for most people. Nice relaxation space with some nice areas to kind of chill and things. Certainly not the biggest spa I've ever seen. A bigger focus maybe on the additional treatments you can have, which, as you can imagine, were expensive.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, they're pretty standard for cruise lines, but they're expensive comparatively. But no, it's a nice space. The gym actually probably has some of the best views of any ship. It's just below the crow's nest.
Nice.
So it's got views right across the front, so you could probably spend loads of time there, whiling away, working out, losing the calories from the cruise. Or you could just go upstairs to the crow's nest and sit there and to get the same view. But let's think about being healthy for once.
Yeah, that's true. But so do they do like thermal? Was there a thermal?
There's a small thermal suite. It's not huge at all. There was a lot of focus on, like I said, like the treatment rooms. Lots of different types of treatment rooms around. A really good spin studio actually, if you're into your spin.
Nice.
Holland America Line is probably one for you because they've got a big spin class room. Nice. But a nice modern gym and nice clean modern spa really.
Cool. It's the end of the Nautical Nibble. So final thoughts. Yeah.
Not what I expected.
No. But surprisingly good.
In a good way. In a good way. I was quite pleasantly surprised by the overall aesthetic on the ship. I thought I wasn't really going to like it, and especially when we first got aboard, I thought this is a bit dark and a bit. But actually, it kind of has that feel. I do personally prefer a ship that faces more outwards. You can feel more of the sea, but the outer decks were lovely to walk around, and there is a proper prom deck as well. There is a good prom deck, which is a very nice touch to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, it was reminiscent. Like, it was weird. It was like there was all these modern twists, but the touch back to the 70s actually had this nostalgic feel for me, because I grew up, but I was born in the 70s, but it had that nostalgic. So when I was looking at certain things, I go, oh, that feels like something from my childhood.
Yeah, if you're a foodie cruiser, a bit like us,
Yeah.
It would definitely be a cruise, and it definitely appeals to me because of that. The quality of the food that we had on board, that was effectively from their main dining room style restaurant, although served in Pinnacle Club.
Yeah.
It was Pinnacle Restaurant. It was the main dining room food. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
And that attention, and I like that little bit of like, often a lot of other cruise lines are starting to do it now, where they'll do a little bit of a taster of where you're going or where you've been to that day, which I really like that, because I like getting a bit of like, I have had a bit of Spanish food, I've had a bit of this, I've had a bit of, trialing that, I've tried that. So that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like the cabins are really nice. There's a touch of it's like this American sort of, as you say, like American 70s retro meets like
Retro Netherlands.
Netherlands. So, but it's nice to have. It's a weird mix, but it works. It works. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. The kids club was closed on the day, hence there was no kids club section on this.
It's okay though.
But they do seem to do a fair bit for kids, and the kids club itself was quite a large space, so it definitely seems something that we'd like to try, because it's not a cruise line that has all the bells and whistles of some of the other cruise lines where they have slides and everything and aqua park and stuff. Yeah. But sometimes it's nice to have a quieter, more relaxed cruise that is more about the locations and the itinerary that you're on than all the bells and whistles on the ship. And therefore, I think this would fit within that category quite well, that it's I can relax and enjoy in a comfortable environment, have really good food, but also my kids can be really happy because they've got a good entertaining kids club in there that's going to keep them busy.
Yeah, I just don't know what the audience was, because as I said, like it's this retro, but there's also this nod to quite modern type taste. So it's very
the general demographic on board. Certainly for this cruise, this was the end of a much longer cruise. It come from all the way from west coast of America, so going through the Panama Canal and everything. But it was definitely an older demographic on board. That also, one, is probably linked to the cruise that it was. Yeah. And also partially the time of year, because it's school term time, so not many families are going to be cruising now. But it was definitely an older vibe. That doesn't mean that it would be boring, though. No. I can certainly see that there is a lot of action that happens on some of them, and certainly having seen Bob and Holly from Innocents Abroad's live the other day, where they were doing it in, I think, BB King's bar, I think it was, they were doing a bit of a boogie on Orange Night, which is their formal night, because obviously Holland America is orange. Cool. It was very energetic, and big up to them, because that looked like a lot of fun, and possibly a lot of alcohol flowing too.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think, we were on a ship which was pretty empty because it was a port day, so we didn't get to see as much of the action as
that's a big negative though, actually. When we were disembarking, the queue to get back on board was insane, and I mean insane. It stretched off the ship, obviously, down the kind of gangplank thing, onto the corridor, through the terminal, and pretty much back out the terminal on the other side. Yeah, it was a very long queue, and I personally was looking at a lot of these guests going, they probably can't queue that long. Yeah. So I was shocked. Yeah. That is one of the worst queues I've ever seen. Now, whether it was just we happened to pick that very bad moment of real peak time, and whether it's always like that or not, but that was a big negative. And something that actually gives me a little bit of pause of, would we go back on or not, is if I'm queuing like that to get on and off the ship.
I wouldn't be happy, but I don't think that would make my ultimate decision, no. So I suppose the ultimate question is really, would you take a Hull cruise, or would you try one?
That embarkation, disembarkation process aside, I think definitely. Yeah. I need to do a little bit more reading in and checking out, so please let us know in the comments below. Yeah. Was that just a fluke random, or is that quite a common occurrence? Because if it's a common occurrence, I don't think we'll be booking, because I can't imagine Josh would particularly deal with that. If not, then I think it's definitely something worth doing. It seems like one of our style of cruises, and actually they've been cruising in Alaska for a long time, and we are
Look at Alaska.
Very seriously considering an Alaska cruise.
Yeah, so some big things about Hull as well is they will be doing Dover sailings for UK residents. So I think when we look, they're longer. They're about 14 days, 10 to 14 days, aren't they?
On the Nieuw Statendam, so they're putting a
Nieuw
new
Statendam.
ship here.
Yep.
They're not doing what some cruise lines do and trialing it out with a really old ship. They're putting a newer ship here.
Which is good, yeah.
Big up for them.
And then, yeah, finally, it's just, we have been looking, and at the moment, there's deals coming out, and I know for the UK, I think it's like £1, £1
That's
bookings.
actually finished at the moment. They're doing that anniversary sale now, which
there
I
we
think
go.
is 35% off. But they do pretty much, when one sale finishes, certainly this time of year, in the sort of like March, April time, there's a lot of cruise sales out.
Yep.
It's funny because the wave season is January, which is when you typically get the cheapest deals. But actually, this year seems to be later. So keep your eye out because there are deals all the time, and some of them can be really, really great bargains.
Yeah, so that's it for our Nautical Nibble. We've got some more cruise ships that we've got visits coming up for, which is going to be in our Nautical Nibble
in our Nautical
series.
Nibble series, yes. We do also have a very exciting cruise coming up next week. We are off on Cunard Queen Anne for its maiden voyage, delayed, and that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So if you are liking our videos, please do consider liking and subscribing. And if you are really enjoying and maybe even hanging around for a little while thinking, how can I support these guys? Because they do amazing content. Please do consider also going over to patreon.com/Cruise Buoys and joining our Patreon. You can join as little as, I think it's £2 a month.
Yep.
Or $3. And
some really good benefits on
there
there.
are some great benefits on there. Go and check those out if you haven't already. And also thank you to all of our Patreons. You are amazing.
And last but not least, if you're looking at going on a cruise and you want to look at sort of different reviews, and also you can look on our YouTube, or you can go on to our website, which is www.cruiseboys.com. There's lots of information there.
Yeah, we're imaginative with our names, as you can tell. Cruise Boys.
There we go.
Cool. So, thanks everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications, like, comment, and share.